Now, this week, both the British Prime Minister Theresa May and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel are in Africa on separate trips to boost trade and business. In Ghana, President Akufo-Addo has within the last hour been holding talks with Chancellor Merkel. The country's economic resurgence, migration, as well as its security role across the West African sub-region have also been on the agenda. Mrs. May, meanwhile, is in Nairobi and has told President Kenyatta that Britain is committed to continuing free trade with Kenya after it leaves the European Union. With more on that, here's our Africa Business editor, Larry Madowo.
Theresa May wants Africa to be in lockstep with the United Kingdom when it leaves the European Union. She is the first British Prime Minister to visit Kenya in 30 years, and she hit all the right notes about trade at State House, Nairobi.
The UK continues to support the commitment of the brave Kenyan soldiers fighting in Somalia against Al-Shabaab, and I will announce a new package of funding to support the African Union mission in Somalia. And Mr. President, I was glad to hear you call for a transition from peacekeepers to stronger Somali security forces. This is what the UK wants too, and as we work towards this, we're leading international efforts to ensure AMISOM has the funding it needs to support its vital battle against terror.
The UK's plan to be the leading G7 investor in Africa by 2022 is already gaining traction.
Kenya is saying that we are looking for investment across the world to help us achieve our social economic agenda. And that support is not coming, indeed, as the Prime Minister herself has said, is not just that we're going out with a begging bowl, no.
As she landed on the continent to promote her post-Brexit trade plans, May announced a $5 billion investment in African economies. The first is a carryover of the European Union's economic partnership agreements with most of Southern Africa and Mozambique. She also launched innovation partnerships in Nigeria and Kenya to support the fast-growing technology sector with early-stage investment and British connections. As Theresa May ends her first African trip as Prime Minister, another European leader, German Chancellor Angela Merkel, has arrived. Last month, French President Emmanuel Macron made his 7th trip to Africa for business, but also trying to win African hearts and minds. For the continent's leaders, the question is, which country should they prioritize? Larry Madowo, BBC News, Nairobi.